What's up, everybody? It's your girl Tyra, and I'm coming back at you again with another Shipt video. You guys have been loving my Shipt content, so today I wanted to give you guys some of my favorite tips and tricks that help me increase my earnings.
That's right. Hey. Tyra, the creative. That's right. The creative.
So we're going to jump right into this video because I have so many tips to give to you guys. So before we get into the actual tips, I want to leave you guys with some food for thought, okay? Being a Shipt shopper means you are a customer service person. People are using this app and they expect great customer service, as if you were actually working at the grocery store or you were working in retail. They want you to be super nice and provide them with a rewarding experience. So make sure that you are being nice. Make sure that you have slept the night before. Make sure that you're not tired and irritable, because that is going to increase your tips. You also want to make sure that each customer is having a unique experience. That's something that all of my old bosses used to say when I worked in retail. So call them by their name. Or if you bring something up about yourself, or if they bring something up about them when you're delivering the groceries, bringing that up in conversation again. Have a little 30-second conversation with them. I'm sure they will appreciate it. So let's get into these tips and tricks. We are going to start with the equipment. I have found over my short amount of time of doing Shipt that these things are lifesavers. So the first thing that I absolutely think you should have is a cart. Any type of cart to carry all of the groceries to the door. Now, I live out in LA, so a lot of people live upstairs and in big buildings, and I don't want to go back to my car a million times if they have 10 bags of groceries, and I definitely can't carry 2 jugs of water, 2 jugs of milk, and 6 cases of cold drinks. But if I had a cart, it would make my job so much easier. So find you a cart. I also suggest that you get a fanny pack. You guys, I have pockets, but I love having everything in my fanny pack. I keep my card in the back pocket of my fanny pack, and on the inside of my fanny pack, I make sure that I have my Sharpie, I have my cell phone, my keys, and my wallet. And I also have some old receipts, because if you're doing Shipt, you know that you have to take pictures of the receipts that you get and upload them. So I keep them for a little while just to make sure that Shipt doesn't need me to re-upload them or something like that. I also suggest that you get a hot and cold bag. I showed you guys that I got a hot and cold bag in my graduation pack. It is a lifesaver. So many people order ice cream and other cold items. That will insulate everything and keep it nice and fresh and cold until it gets to the person. Sometimes you'll do more than one order at a time. And sometimes the person who orders the frozen stuff is going to be your second delivery. So you want to make sure that their stuff is not melted or thawed out completely by the time that they get it. The next item, which is something that I love having and I actually broke mine, is a phone lanyard. You guys, these things help out so much. I've heard a couple of people say that they would like to get the phone holder that goes onto your cart. I don't like that one because you have to constantly take your phone off of it and put it back. But with your phone on a phone lanyard, and I have a picture of it right here, it's very simple because you just put it around your neck and you can take pictures of the groceries and then just drop your phone, especially if you're going to be carrying heavy items to your cart. It just makes your life so much easier to have a phone lanyard. And the last piece of equipment that I think you guys should have is very small but very powerful, and that is a Sharpie. So I do multiple orders at a time. I stack my orders. So in order for me to remember whose order is for who, I write on the bags. I will write, this order is for Jeff. He has this amount of bags. This order is for Susan. She has this amount of bags. So when I'm delivering, I know in my app, okay, I'm at Jeff's house. Let's look for all the bags that say Jeff. Now let's get into these tips. So the first tip that I have for you guys is kind of self-explanatory, but if you're just starting with Shipt, you may not realize to do this. And that would be to keep all of your orders separate. And that's when you are shopping and when you are putting them in the car. When you're putting them in a car, I separate my trunk into 3 sections. So I can put up to 3 orders in the back of my trunk, and I also separate my back seat into 2 sections. I also use my front seat if I need to. So I can have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 orders at a time in my entire car. Number 2 is to take your time during checkout. With prepaid orders, I will keep my cart separate, but they don't go through every single item. I have made it a point to go through each and every item to double and triple check to make sure that I have everything separated properly. Because some people order the same things, some people order multiple quantities of things, and you just have to make sure that it's all right. Number 3 would be to review the shop. Now, this is before you even get to the store. When I'm looking on my phone to find new shops, I always check the preview to make sure that it's something that can fit in my car. Some person ordered a children's slide and a swimming pool during this quarantine, and I was like, oh my God, I'm glad that this is the only order that I'm doing right now, because these are 2 huge items, and one took up the back seat and one fit in my trunk. So make sure that you can actually fit these items into your car instead of getting all the way to the store and you start shopping and then you realize, I don't have anywhere to put this stuff. Number 4 is for if you are in a crunch for time. Prepaid orders at Target go by super fast. When you have a prepaid order, you shop all the items and you go to the guest services and say, hey, I have a prepaid order. They will check 2 or 3 items and then say, okay, you're good to go. Now, you still have to bag these items and all of that, but if you keep bags with you or you bag them as you go, then that can also help. I know during quarantine right now, some stores are not allowing you to bag the items before everything is checked, but before quarantine happened, it was something that we were able to do. So maybe after quarantine is over, it'll be something that they let us start doing again. Number 5 is to make sure that you are staying in contact with your customer. I've had a couple of customers that had like big lists of stuff and the store has everything, but I'm literally just shopping for them. And they will say, hey, are you still shopping for my stuff? I haven't heard from you, after I send them the introductory text message. So if you feel like it's been a long time since you've spoken to the customer, just send them a text, hey, I'm still shopping for your order. Is there anything else you would like me to add? Or, hey, I noticed that you wanted this item, but they also have it in this flavor. Would you like me to grab you this flavor as well? Anything like that to make sure that they know that you are taking this job seriously and that you want to provide them with the best possible service that you can. And number 6 kind of goes hand in hand with that. Use your best judgment, always. For example, I've heard a lot of Shipt shoppers say, oh my gosh, it just takes so long to tell them that they don't have this item in stock and then I have to wait on them. Don't do that. All you have to do, and this is what works for me personally, it may not work for everybody, but I feel like it's the best way to do it. Tell them that they do not have that item and give them a substitute already. So for example, if they don't have the type of bagels that they want, but they have it in another brand, I would say, hey Jeff, they don't have the type A bagels, but they do have type B. I'm gonna grab those for you. Let me know if you wouldn't like them. And that's only if it's something that you can directly substitute it for, especially during this time because the grocery stores are still kind of empty. So just give them an option. Don't just send them a message saying, hey, they don't have this item. What else would you like? And another thing that can help you effectively communicate with your customer is using, if you have an iPhone, use voice to text. Literally talk to your phone instead of typing everything out. And I also send pictures rather than typing out all of these long drawn out text messages. It saves so much time. Number 7 is a big thing. Wear your shirt. There are so many Shipt shoppers out there these days that I know they're doing Shipt because I can tell by their phone screen and how they move through the store, but they don't have on professional clothing. They don't have on their Shipt shirt. So if I'm like looking around for something in the store and I have on my Shipt shirt, a worker is more likely to come up to me and say, hey, do you need help looking for something? And also beyond shopping in the store, the customer knows why you're at their house. For example, in LA, sometimes the addresses can be a little wonky and I will literally get out of my car and walk around to figure out where the house is. Now, a couple of times my customer has flagged me down because they see my shirt. So it just makes your life a whole lot easier. Number 8 is kind of controversial, and that is promo pay. A lot of people say don't take the promo orders, but that is what is most worth your time. So if you see promo orders in the zone that you like to work in, I say take those orders. Those are the orders that I take. I will take those 1,000 times before I take an order that has not gone promo. The meaning of promo is whenever the order is getting close to its delivery time, they tack on a few extra dollars for you doing this order. It's the same order, but it has a shorter delivery window. Number 9 is to shop at stores that you're familiar with. I work in 2 zones. That's because these are the stores that I shop at myself. I frequent these stores, so I know where everything is. I know how it works there. It's really frustrating when you don't know where things are in the store. And even if you do know where things are in the store, sometimes it's just better to shop at stores that you like. I love shopping at Target. I'll do Target stores and I'll do Petco, and I may do Ralph's every now and then. And I'll tell you why I do Ralph's in a little while. But there are also stores like Smart and Final. I absolutely hate shopping at Smart and Final because in my experience, the workers are not that great. They treat me as if I am a nuisance because I guess they get a lot of shipped orders, and most of the time it's always some sort of glitch or problem when I'm doing a shipped order at Smart and Final. So I just don't accept those orders anymore. I typically go for the Target orders where I can do prepaid, and Shipt is also owned by Target. And I've also realized that Target is the only store that actually has the location help. So if you go through your app, you'll see on each of the items, it'll say this item is on aisle G32, and you can go right there and find the item. That doesn't happen in other grocery stores. So especially if you don't shop at that store, you are walking around back and forth all over the store, not knowing what you're doing, wasting time. Number 10, make executive decisions. At the end of the day, you're delivering them their groceries. So if you feel compelled to get them something instead of nothing, then do that. But if you feel like there's not a great substitute at all, don't get them anything, but you make that executive decision because we don't have 20 minutes to just wait in the store and hope that they respond. I've ran into a couple of shoppers that are just standing there fuming, and I'm like, hey, do you need any help? I'm just waiting on my customers to respond. It's been 20 minutes. Baby girl, I ain't got time for that. So number 10 is kind of a hack that I've learned. Whenever I would do shops at Ralph's, which is a regular grocery store, I know that Ralph's may not be all over the US, but when I would check out at Ralph's, the cashier would always swipe one of the Ralph's rewards cards, and that's just to get the regular store discounts that they have in the newspapers. And so I started using my own Ralph's card because it's literally the same thing. And I realized that when I used my Ralph's card, I was getting money off of my gas. You guys, you use gas to go to the store and deliver these groceries. I went to get gas 2 weeks ago and I got 80 cents off per gallon because of all of the Ralph's shops that I did. And I literally paid $1.90 per gallon for gas. I was so excited. Number 12 would be to join the Facebook groups. Now earlier I talked about doing the Smart and Final shops, and one day my app just completely crashed and I didn't know what was going on. I wasn't able to get in touch with the Shipt customer service, so I went to the Facebook group and I realized that everyone else was having the same problems, and someone actually got in touch with them and they told them to delete the app and re-download it and all of that stuff. But I wouldn't have known that if I was not in these shopper groups. Number 13 is a big one that I've actually gotten a lot of compliments on. So like I said, one of the key things that I need to do a shop is a Sharpie. Before I bag all of my groceries, I take shopping bags and I write out the customer's name and the amount of bags. So this is how I would do it. If Jeff had 10 bags, I would write Jeff bag 1 of 10, Jeff bag 2 of 10. Number 14 is to bag things effectively. Don't put the bread in the same bag as the milk. Number 15 is make sure you are delivering on time and make sure you are setting yourself apart. A lot of the time, I like to leave little personalized messages. I haven't really been doing that as of lately because of quarantine and touching all of stuff. It's just, I don't feel like people are comfortable with that. So earlier, before quarantine started, when I would do Postmates and Uber Eats and all of these gig services, I would leave little notes. So I have one here and it's literally just some candy and it has a little note on the top. So it says, don't forget to do something today that makes you happy. Your Postmate, Tyra. And it has a Laffy Taffy, a piece of Dove chocolate, and a sugar-free Lifesaver in there. So I gave them a little bit of option. A lot of my customers have really been loving these, so I think this is a good way to increase your tips. And then this one says, I hope you have a phenomenal day. Your Postmate, Tyra. And this one says, if no one told you today, you are loved, you matter, and everything will work out. Your Postmate, Tyra. And I don't know, you guys, like, it just helps put people in a good mood. So I just think about the types of things that I would love to receive. And I would love to get a little note like that because you never know how somebody's day went. You could also send them a follow-up text like, hey, thank you so much for shopping with Shipt. I hope you enjoyed all of your groceries. Let me know how the mangoes taste, or something that would be personal to that order. You could even say, hey, I hope you really enjoy your groceries. now you make me want to try this new trail mix that you got. I'm gonna go to the store and grab some. Have a great day. Anything like that, so just be personable, you guys. Like, it truly makes a huge difference. We are making it to the end of the video, so I'm gonna leave you guys with 2 more tips. And if you guys would like me to make a full video on these tips, then let me know down in the comments. But the first one would be to make sure that you are taking out taxes. Shipt does not take out any taxes at all. So make sure you're setting aside 20%. I have an account that's strictly for taxes because since I'm self-employed, I like to pay my taxes quarterly. So when I set that money aside, I can just pull from an account that is strictly for taxes. Also, use apps that track your expenses and your mileage. I personally use QuickBooks Self-Employed, but before I started using QuickBooks, I was using Everlance, which is also a really good app. They're both 2 really good apps. So check those out in the App Store and download them. I love that there's the auto tracking feature and you can also categorize everything. So just make sure that you're doing what you need to do so when tax season comes around, you're not blowing a gasket because you weren't prepared. Stay prepared, stay safe out there shopping, and thank you guys so much for watching. If you are not already subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit that big red subscribe button down below and make sure your notifications are on so you can get all of the alerts anytime your girl posts any new content. Thank you guys so much for watching, and if you have any questions about anything that I said in this video, put them down below and I'll see you in the next one.